Duke of York, Andrew, is removed from all titles and duties for his links to the Jeffrey Epstein matter. The Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, is likewise excluded for the same grave breach
of trust. The monarchy will advance under William and Catherine with renewed integrity for centuries. The British monarchy has stood as a beacon of truth.
Matter. The Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, is likewise excluded for the same grave breach of trust. The monarchy will advance under William and Catherine with renewed
tradition, stability, and unyielding protocol. But beneath the polished facade of crowns and ceremonies, tensions have simmered, secrets have festered, and decisions have been made in shadowed halls that could reshape the very foundation of the institution. Most people assumed the royal family would continue its predictable path. King Charles reigning with quiet determination, Prince William waiting in the wings, and the rest of the family playing their assigned roles. Yet, deep within Buckingham Palace, on a crisp autumn evening in 2025, something shifted. Whispers of scandal, long buried but never forgotten, began to surface once more. It started subtly. The public had grown accustomed to the occasional murmur about past controversies. But this time, the air felt heavier. King Charles, now in his late 70s, had spent his reign navigating challenges from health concerns to public scrutiny. He had always been a man of measured words, careful to preserve the monarchy's image. But sources close to the palace revealed that behind closed doors, the king was grappling with revelations that threatened to tarnish the crown irreparably. Emails, documents, and old associations resurfaced, linking certain family members to figures from a notorious financial scandal that had rocked the world years earlier. The Jeffrey Epstein matter, a web of high society connections and breaches of trust, had already claimed reputations globally. In Britain, it had led to Prince Andrew's quiet retreat from public life back in 2020 with his military titles and patronages stripped away. But in 2025, new emails released from Epstein's estate cast longer shadows, showing communications that extended further than previously admitted. Andrew, once the Duke of York, found himself under renewed scrutiny, his denials echoing hollowly against fresh evidence. And then unexpectedly, the spotlight turned to another figure, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Rumors had circulated for years about Meghan's pre-royal life in Hollywood. Her ambitious climb through acting gigs, networking events, and high-profile friendships. Some tabloids hinted at associations with influential circles, including those tied to Epstein's orbit through mutual acquaintances in elite social scenes. While Meghan had always dismissed such claims as baseless smears, the palace's internal investigations, prompted by the latest document dumps, suggested otherwise. A grave breach of trust, they called it, one that mirrored Andrew's own entanglements. King Charles faced a dilemma. The monarchy's survival depended on integrity, especially in an era where public faith was waning. Polls showed younger generations questioning the institution's relevance, with calls for reform growing louder in Commonwealth nations. The king knew he had to act decisively. He couldn't let the past drag down the future. So, he planned an announcement, one that would stun the world and redraw the lines of power within the family. What would he say? And how would it change everything? The stage was set for a moment that would echo through history. As the day approached, the palace buzzed with nervous energy. Advisors huddled in meetings, drafting statements with precision. Outside, the London fog seemed thicker, as if nature itself conspired to cloak the drama. Inside, Charles prepared his words, knowing they would divide opinions, but perhaps save the crown. The announcement would not just address the scandals. It would elevate William and Catherine as the new pillars of the monarchy, symbols of renewal and moral steadfastness. But first, the truth had to be laid bare. The sun hung low over London on November the 10th, 2025, casting long shadows across the crowds gathered outside Buckingham Palace. News had leaked that King Charles would address the nation in person, a rare public appearance that fueled speculation. Reporters from around the world jostled for position, cameras flashing like distant stars. Inside the palace, the atmosphere was tense. Charles, dressed in a somber suit, reviewed his notes one last time. Beside him stood Queen Camilla, her expression a mask of quiet support. The king stepped outside. The crowd fell silent as he approached the microphone. His voice, steady but laced with gravity, cut through the chill air. "My fellow citizens," he began, "the monarchy has always strived to embody the highest standards of duty and honor. Today, I must address matters that have tested those ideals." He paused, the weight of his words hanging in the air. Then, with unflinching resolve, he continued, The Duke of York is removed from all titles and duties for his links to the Jeffrey Epstein matter. The Duchess of Sussex is likewise excluded for the same grave breach of trust. The monarchy will advance under William and Catherine with renewed integrity. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Phones buzzed with notifications as the news spread like wildfire across social media. Andrew, already a diminished figure living in seclusion at Royal Lodge, now faced complete exile from royal life. But the inclusion of Meghan sent shock waves. She and Prince Harry had stepped back from royal duties years earlier, forging a life in California amid media deals and philanthropy. Yet, this announcement tied her directly to the Epstein scandal, citing undisclosed connections through her Hollywood network that the palace deemed unacceptable. In the immediate aftermath, reactions poured in. Supporters of the monarchy praised Charles for his boldness, seeing it as a necessary purge to restore credibility. Critics, however, accused him of scapegoating, pointing out the selective nature of the decision. Why now? What new evidence had prompted this? Palace insiders later revealed that the trigger was the November 2025 release of over 20,000 pages of Epstein's emails, which mentioned Andrew repeatedly and hinted at peripheral links to figures in Meghan's past circle, including through events at Soho House and other elite venues. Charles didn't elaborate on specifics during the speech, but his message was clear. The monarchy needed a clean slate. By elevating William and Catherine, he signaled a shift toward a more modern, accountable era. William, standing nearby, but out of view, felt a surge of responsibility. Catherine, ever composed, prepared for the increased scrutiny that would follow. The announcement wasn't just words. It was a declaration of war on the family's tainted elements, setting the stage for a new chapter. As the king retreated inside, the crowd erupted in murmurs. The world watched, wondering what secrets would unravel next. Would Andrew and Meghan respond? And how would this reshape the royal dynamics? Prince Andrew's fall from grace had been building for years, a slow erosion of privilege amid mounting questions. Born in 1960 as the Queen's second son, he grew up in the spotlight, serving in the Navy during the Falklands War and earning a reputation as a dashing royal. But as the decades passed, his associations drew concern. The Epstein connection first surfaced publicly in the 2010s, with photos showing Andrew at Epstein's properties and reports of their friendship, spanning over a decade. By 2022, the pressure became unbearable. Andrew stepped back from public duties, losing his military affiliations and charitable patronages. Yet, the scandal lingered. In 2025, fresh revelations from Epstein's estate emails showed Andrew maintaining contact longer than admitted, discussing business ventures and social introductions. These documents painted a picture of breached trust, where personal ties overshadowed royal responsibilities. King Charles, who had long defended his brother privately, could no longer ignore the damage. Sources indicated that family discussions grew heated, with William advocating for stricter measures. Andrew's insistence on innocence did little to quell the storm. Settlements with accusers and ongoing legal echoes kept the issue alive. The announcement formalized what many saw as inevitable complete removal from titles, effectively renaming him Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. This move wasn't just symbolic. It stripped him of any remaining influence, evicting him from Royal Lodge and barring him from official events. The public, weary of royal privileges amid economic hardships, largely supported the decision. Andrew retreated further into privacy, his once vibrant life reduced to isolation. But the announcement also highlighted the monarchy's vulnerability, showing how one member's missteps could threaten the whole. Meghan Markle's journey to royalty was anything but traditional. A narrative of ambition, reinvention, and controversy that clashed with palace expectations. Born in 1981 in Los Angeles, she navigated a diverse upbringing with a black mother and white father, attending private schools and immersing herself in acting. Her role in Suits catapulted her to fame, but it was her Prefam life that now came under intense scrutiny. Whispers of a dirty past had dogged Meghan since her engagement to Harry in 2017. Tabloids dissected her first marriage to producer Trevor Engelson, her strained family relations, particularly with her father Thomas and half-sister Samantha, and her Hollywood networking. The Epstein link, though tenuous, stemmed from her associations in elite circles. Reports from 2025 documents suggested introductions through mutual friends in Epstein's network, including at high-end events where trust and discretion were paramount. While no direct involvement was proven, the palace viewed these as a breach, especially given Meghan's public advocacy for women's empowerment. Her post-royal life amplified the contrasts. After stepping down in 2020, Meghan and Harry pursued media ventures, including a Netflix deal in her podcast Archetypes. But allegations of staff bullying during her time at Kensington Palace resurfaced, with a 2025 inquiry leaking details of a toxic work environment. Critics pointed to her family's public feuds where Thomas claimed abandonment, and Samantha's lawsuits painted Meghan as opportunistic. The announcement laid bare these elements, framing them as incompatible with royal integrity. Meghan's response issued from California denied any wrongdoing, calling it a smear campaign. Yet the damage was done, highlighting her differences from the institution's core values. Grace seemed absent in the public spats, morals questioned in the pursuit of independence. This perch positioned her as an outsider. Her dirty past a cautionary tale of how ambition could collide with tradition. In stark contrast stood Catherine, the Princess of Wales, whose life exemplified the poise and dedication the monarchy craved. Born in 1980 to a middle-class family, her father a flight dispatcher, her mother a former flight attendant, Catherine grew up in Berkshire, valuing education and family. Her gap-year adventures in Italy and Chile built resilience, while her time at St. Andrews University, where she met William, marked the beginning of a grounded romance. Catherine's entry into royal life was marked by quiet strength. After their 2011 wedding, she balanced motherhood to George, Charlotte, and Louis with public duties. Her charity work shone brightly, founding the Center for Early Childhood in 2021 to focus on formative years, supporting mental health through Heads Together and patronizing organizations like the Scout Association and Action on Addiction. In 2018, she donated hair to the Little Princess Trust anonymously, a gesture of pure compassion. Her morals were evident in her advocacy for kindness and family unity. Amid personal health challenges in 2024, she faced cancer with dignity, prioritizing recovery while maintaining public engagements. Grace defined her. No scandals, no public feuds, just steady service. The announcement elevated her as the moral compass. Her differences from Meghan Stark, where one sought spotlight, Catherine embraced subtlety. Prince William, he apparent embodied the monarchy's future stability. Born in 1982, his life was shaped by duty from childhood, navigating his parents' divorce and his mother's tragic death. His military service as a search and rescue pilot and air ambulance captain grounded him, fostering empathy. In 2025, William's role expanded amid family upheavals. He had long pushed for accountability, reportedly influencing Andrew's demotion. With the announcement, Charles positioned him as the vanguard, tasking him with modernizing the institution, slimming it down, emphasizing transparency, and focusing on causes like homelessness through Homewoods and environmentalism via the Earthshot Prize. William's partnership with Catherine amplified their power. Together, they represented renewal, moral integrity, family focus, and public trust. Insiders noted William's plans for a change for good monarchy, blending tradition with relevance. This new era promised strength with William's authority unchallenged. The announcement heralded a transformed monarchy, leaner and more focused under William and Catherine like a phoenix, rising from the ashes of controversy. Gone were the distractions of scandal that had plagued the institution for years. In their place, a bold vision of integrity took root, promising transparency and accountability in an age where public trust was hard-won. Polls conducted in the weeks following the speech painted a vivid picture of renewal. According to a YouGov survey from October 2025, just before the announcement, favorability for the royal family hovered at around 59%, viewing the monarchy as good for Britain, with William and Catherine leading at 76% and 73% positive opinions, respectively. But post-announcement, an Ipsos poll in early November showed a surge, with 54% expressing favorable views of the family as a whole, up for points, and King Charles himself gaining the points to 53%. The public, it seemed, appreciated the purge, seeing it as a decisive step toward modernization rather than mere window dressing, even among younger demographics, where statista data from August 2025 indicated 40% opposition to the monarchy. In the 18 to 24 age group, there were signs of softening, with many crediting the move for addressing long-standing grievances about privilege and relevance. Commonwealth nations, once deeply skeptical and vocal about severing ties, began to see glimmers of potential reform. Countries like Australia and Jamaica, which had been pushing for Republican status as per 2023 surveys, where majorities favored ditching the monarchy, now paused to observe. Reports from The Guardian in February 2025 highlighted the drive for decolonization, but Charles's action was interpreted by some leaders as a genuine effort to cleanse the institution fostering warmer relations with the UK and Canada and the Bahamas. Public sentiment shifted slightly, with polls suggesting a renewed willingness to engage. If the monarchy proved its commitment to shared values over outdated hierarchies, William and Catherine's roles expanded dramatically, becoming the dynamic duo at the helm of this rebirth. Their joint initiatives gained momentum. The Earthshot Prize for Climate Action, which William championed, aimed to tackle environmental crises head-on, emphasizing his November 2025 comments about ensuring his children grow up surrounded by nature. Amid pressing global challenges, Catherine's focus on early childhood development through the Center for Early Childhood, coupled with a new mental health pilot program launched in late 2024 and set to expand in 2025, provided support to rural communities. They also unveiled a national suicide prevention network in October 2025, a heartfelt extension of their Heads Together campaign, blending royal duty with genuine compassion, their family life with shared glimpses of, normally like their move to Forest Lodge in Windsor Great Park in November 2025 described as their forever home humanized the monarchy, rebuilding trust one relatable moment at a time. The public adored these touches. William opening up about discussing Catherine's 2020 cancer diagnosis with their children George, Charlotte, and Louis, showcasing vulnerability and resilience. The monarchy advanced, shedding tainted elements and embracing a future where grace, morals, and forward-thinking leadership prevailed, yet challenges lingered on the horizon. Ongoing debates over public funding and a cost of living crisis, generational shifts pulling younger Britons toward republicanism, and the delicate balance of maintaining unity across diverse Commonwealth realms. But with William and Catherine steering the ship, the foundation felt not just solid, but unbreakable, ready to weather whatever storms lay ahead. As the dust settles on this seismic announcement, the British monarchy finds itself at a profound crossroads, teetering between renewal and further erosion. King Charles's bold proclamation, delivered with regal poise on that fateful November day in 2020, has exposed deep-seated fractures within the House of Windsor. Yet it also charts a deliberate path toward redemption. By severing ties with Prince Andrew, whose lingering associations with the Jeffrey Epstein matter have long cast a pull over the institution, the king has signaled an unwavering commitment to accountability. Recent polls revealed the public's resounding disapproval, with 91% of Britons holding a negative view of Andrew, marking the highest recorded unfavorability in history. This sentiment underscores the heavy cost of breached trust, as Andrew's isolation serves as a stark reminder that no royal privilege is immune to scrutiny. Similarly, the exclusion of Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, lays bare a narrative of contrasts, highlighting her past entanglements in elite circles that clashed with the monarchy's core values. While Meghan's journey from Hollywood to royal life was marked by ambition and advocacy, the palace's decision frames it as incompatible with the integrity demanded today. Public reactions have been mixed, with some viewing it as a necessary purge to safeguard the crown's reputation, while others decry it as selective justice amid broader calls for reform. Support for the monarchy itself has dipped below 50% in recent surveys, fueled by these scandals and a growing generational divide. In Commonwealth nations, whispers of republicanism grow louder, testing the institution's global relevance. Against this backdrop, Prince William and Catherine emerge as luminous beacons of hope. Their grace, moral fortitude, and dedication to public service, offering a blueprint for the future. William's initiatives on environmental causes and homelessness, coupled with Catherine's focus on early childhood development and mental health, embody a modern monarchy rooted in empathy and action. Their elevated roles promise a streamlined, transparent era where family unity and societal impact take precedence over outdated pomp. Yet, challenges loom: economic pressures, media scrutiny, and the need to reconnect with younger audiences could either fortify or fracture this new foundation. This moment invites introspection on the monarchy's evolution. Has Charles's decisive action truly strengthened the crown, or does it risk deepening internal divisions and alienating supporters? Will William and Catherine's leadership usher in a renaissance of trust, blending tradition with progressive values, or will lingering shadows from the past hinder progress? How might global perception shift, and what reforms could ensure the institution's survival in a rapidly changing world? Share your views. The story of the royals ever unfolding continues to captivate and provoke.